Started. YouTube was popping. We up on YouTube tonight. We on IG tonight. I was trying to do Facebook as well, but Facebook is fronting. So right now, let me holler at the Facebook crew. Let them know that we're on YouTube right now, and we'll see what's good. All right, let me just let them know real fast. All right, so we about to do this. Let me send this message. All right, let me just. Oh crap. All right, let's see. Let's publish this right now. Okay, so we good. We're good. We're good. Let me just chant some people in right now. All right, all right, all right. So here we go. So we're gonna wait for a few people to get in on this, yo. I'm with my boy Kev right now, and we up here in Harlem. We about to have a real touchy chat. Not in the locker room, but in Starbucks. That's where we at right now. This conversation is public domain because it's out here, right? It's out here in the documentary. It's out here in the court papers. It's out here on the streets. So we want to figure out, what's going on. At least hear each other out. So for those of you who's been following me, probably checked out what I've been putting up here. In the past few weeks, I've been talking about masculinity and all that stuff. And so now I want to talk about R. Kelly because I think that's connected in one way or another. So I got my boy here, Sharp Cat up in here, who's a man I deeply respect. And, we're about to be candid, real on how we see this issue. And so what you're about to hear are two brothers about to do this. So Kev, you want to lay your claim, man? What's good, man?
Hey, hello to the world out there. I'm gonna start off and say, man, it's a touchy situation because our brother Kels, he is our brother. Now the accused victims are our kind also. So if any of these allegations are true, I look at it as black on black crime. Now no one has died, no one is screaming rape yet, but it's just as bad, black on black crime, as you shooting your brothers down in the street. So, I'm just torn. I'm just torn in this situation. And my opinion is, if any of the allegations are true, yes, he should go down. Yes, he should go to jail for for his crimes. But if it's all smokescreen, or a lot of it is smokescreen, we got to be careful on how we serve our brother up to the judicial system. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, if he does go to jail, 40 years, 50 years, life, 75 years, 25, we don't know what they're going to do. We don't know if they're going to erase his whole legacy, which is a black man's legacy. We don't know what's going to go on. We don't know if the record company, you know what I'm saying, has control of his masters, and next thing we know, got country singers singing all his hits, making millions of dollars of all that man's hard work, so we just have to be very careful. And I don't say that as saying I'm hearing his songs in my head right now. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we are rare. We don't have that many. It's not. We are the minority. We cannot forget that, because after this, the Michael Jackson movie is coming out, which is another brother. Mike is dead. He can't even speak on his own behalf. You know what I mean? And it's another story that's going to be coming. And you got to look at it. Look at the overall picture. He's a brown-skinned brother. Another one. So I just say, in the bigger scheme of things, is watch the picture that's being painted. It's another controlling factor that's painting these pictures for the public to see what they want us to see. And I'm just saying, just be careful. We just gotta be careful in the situation.
All right. So, I mean, from what I gather from what you're saying, man, there's some skeptical. You're skeptical of the allegations of the people who are coming forth, putting the spotlight on R. Kelly, and I also note that you're looking at this in a context where you're looking at an injustice between two races, where one is white folks are trying to tear down a great black man. But I want to dwell on. I would like to. I mean, my focus is on the allegations.
Sure.
And that over a couple of decades, you have a guy who's been in the middle of this mess, and it's just following him wherever he goes, right? So I got this timeline here, a short timeline. I'll just read very quickly. August 31st, 1994, R. Kelly, 27 years old, marries Aaliyah, 15 years old. 6 years later, Chicago Sun-Times prints the first allegations of sex with minors, on top of marrying a minor. 2 years after that, February 8th, Chicago police reveal an investigation into alleged child pornography, right? So we're not just talking about like one thing he's kind of like doing that he gets off with, whatever. It's like a number of different kinds of shades of gray, June 5th, 2002, a few months later, he's indicted on 21 counts of child pornography. It took 6 years. 6 years after 2 years from being indicted, then it took 6 years for the trial to begin. And a month later, he's acquitted on all accounts. Okay, then we fast forward to 2017. BuzzFeed publishes stories of women and his sex cult, his alleged sex cult. The year after, he releases a 19-minute song called I Admit. Months later, his ex-wife is accusing him of physical abuse. And then we get to the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries in 2019. So this is not just like one person saying anything. There's not one person saying the same thing over. What we do have is multiple women expressing their grievances surrounding sex and misogyny, mistreatment, however you want to call it, over a spectrum of 20 years, more than 20 years, I'm sorry. I don't think, for me, it's not a matter of whether or not we should be thinking about serving him up. We need to get to, why is it that this dude is in the middle of all of this? We got a Trump dude, Trump is in the middle of everything, but, if you follow his history, his legacy is financial. Scamming and scheming, cutting tax, ripping people off over his career. Now, some of this stuff went to court, and he got by on some of this stuff. But now, years and years later, as he get into the spotlight, it's catching up on him because he entered to a whole nother level without even changing, flipping his mode. Now, did people see him directly? No, we had allegations, and there were cases, and a lot of those cases went in his favor or just got stalled. Even the thing with Stormy Daniels, recently, the judge got it that she has to pay. The judge ruled recently that she has to pay Trump's legal fees. We talking about a dude who's like, yo, my advice to you is grab him by the joint. This is what we got going on here. And with R. Kelly, we got something very similar, but with minor black women. So, I mean, it's hard for me to, like, try to contextualize this into a us versus, them. And that he might lose his legacy. That's the liability. First of all, as a black man, and second of all, somebody with power and stature. We know that there's media vultures out there. However, even given that's true or whatever, you still got to be accountable for your actions. And I think this litany of charges and behaviors is enough for me to not even think about what other white guys getting away with what R. Kelly's doing. I'm concerned about what he's doing with into our young black girls, with their consent or without their consent. If they're minors, this is wrong, yo. He's preying. He's a predator on our own youth. That's my take on it.
I mean, I concur on all the ill actions of his. Yeah, yes, that's what I said. I'm torn because I agree that he should go to jail for being a pedophile. He should go to jail for sex crimes. But what I'm saying is, just like a Weinstein, he's going to go to jail, or if he does go to jail, or he's in litigations in court right now for his actions now. But we don't have a 6 hour documentary on his actions. Like, it's not, like, why are we that interested in what R. Kelly personal life is versus a Weinstein life? This is what I'm saying about serving him up. We can't do that and then attach other movements and have him painted as he's the face of so and so, or he's the face of such and such, and like he's responsible for all of these allegations. It just seems it looks like a public lynching to me. It looks like a total public lynching, and for us and our people, I think we had enough lynchings in our heyday. I don't think we should be participating in any type of lynching.
But you got to keep in mind, we're talking about him abusing our people, his own people, our sisters, our nieces and nephews, our cousins. I mean, I don't know how. For me, I just can't add that other context, because we're talking about a black man who can otherwise easily be a role model, but instead has converted his success into bear traps to trap young girls by means of his fame, his wealth, his power, and his talents, which he now uses in the form of sorcery to enchant people, to enchant young girls, to desire him in a way they shouldn't be, and to take advantage of that.
No, I agree. He's sick. I agree. He's sick.
His mentality is evil. He's enacting violence, bro. That's violent, man.
To a certain extent,
we can say Harvey and them are sick too. I mean,
exactly.
But
But
them dudes are getting their justice in the way it's coming.
Right. So,
but we have to worry about giving R. Kelly the justice away.
But we gotta
he deserves.
But I'm saying we gotta be careful with that.
Be careful with giving him his justice.
The way he's being delivered, we gotta be careful with that. We can't. I just can't go along with. I can't go along with serving him up like that. It just don't sit right with me. It just doesn't.
So let me ask you a question. if this happened to you, if one of your family members was part of the allegation, would you really? I mean, it's hard to reimagine. I try to. I try to do this. So I'm asking, do you see yourself really having the same kind of broad context on this matter?
Okay,
If that touched home.
okay. Listen, like I've had discussions with two females that have been, in a situation, uncompromising situation with pertaining to sex, and one of them, we discussing it, very sensitive, was crying. The other one was, I addressed it as, I know this might be a sensitive situation, but what you think about the R. Kelly situation? And she told me she didn't really know because of the allegations. It's layered. It's a layered situation, and we don't know what's true and what's not true. And with that being said, if R. Kelly's going to jail, the parents need to go to jail. A lot of people are getting served, like a lot of the girls are getting served up. We're not saying that the parents are not. We're not mentioning that the parents was taking bags of money. We're not saying palms is being greased. So the whole camp and the whole issue is disgusting. It's as a whole. So if we saying black on black crime, we are also participating in this because money is involved. That's why I say it's a layered situation. When you have listen, I watched that documentary, right, and I seen this dude and his wife, and it's a sad thing, because when I start seeing the wife cry, of course you're gonna be touched. Your daughters, you haven't seen your daughter in 2.5 years, and so, but you go to the concert, and I'm sitting there, I just couldn't wait to see what these dudes was saying because I'm like, yo, the first thing when you go on an outing with your family as a dude is protection. How does R. Kelly pipe your daughter from out of your eyesight? I don't understand that because I think the parents got caught up in the fame of R. Kelly and then they go in there and said, yo, we heard of the allegation and rumors, but so where do you find it okay for your daughter to even be within 2 feet of him?
All right, so I mean, listen.
That's what I'm saying.
There are a lot of accountable parties, but I don't.
Right, so
they don't stand as excuses not to pursue R. Kelly.
We're not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it doesn't excuse nothing that R. Kelly does. He's a grown man, and yes, hanging around, young children it happens.
But somebody said that they were some idiot parents.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a layered situation where we just can't pinpoint and say, yo, R. Kelly is the face of this whole situation. I'm just not going for that.
Him. I mean, he is the face of the situation.
Okay, what's surrounding him? Allegations?
All the allegations, all the charges are around him.
We don't know which is true and which is false. We don't know.
So you disbelieve the woman? I
don't know what to believe. I know it's a lot. And the way they serving them up, it was like, yo, next thing you know is child trafficking. It's a lot, man. I'm watching 6 hours of this.
This is the accumulation of 20 years. He's been in this sex game with minors for 20 years.
Okay, but listen,
he can retire. He
deserves
a pension for that if that was the rule of law.
As well as these other sickos.
Yeah, but we're not talking about them. But
we have to. No. We have.
Wait a minute. We're talking about one person in our black community. Harvey Weinstein. He's going to court. So why don't we get R. Kelly to turn himself in if you want to talk about the others? Okay, he came up. We brought him up. He's doing his just due. He's going to his trial. So why don't we get R. Kelly? Since he want to write a song called "I Admit," well then listen. Why don't we sit down and see how much you're admitting about?
Well, maybe that's the case. And we know our brother is sick also. He's sick in the head.
Yeah, he's sick.
He's sick. He's very sick in the head. He's very sick in the head. But that doesn't mean because all of the allegations, he should go to jail for being a manipulative person, a mean person.
No, we're not saying that. We're saying he should go to jail for those crimes need to be investigated. But
what crime? Listen, we watched 6 hours of a show and nobody said rape. None of them girls said rape.
They don't have to say it. If it's an offense against the state or law, the attorney general can take it up. The state prosecutor can take it up. Right? So whatever. So Chicago can take up all those cases, even if somebody chooses not to press charges. So here's something in your favor. Somebody says
It's not in my favor.
nobody needs.
brother.
Well, I'm just saying. Somebody got something saying, I'm not taking up for R. Kelly, but the victims need to be forensically interviewed. I think that's what it means. So
Yes,
so
thoroughly. And it,
Yeah.
right. And like I said, it really, I mean, I watched that thing and was almost sick to my stomach because I never saw nothing like that in my life. Nobody being served up like that in my life. And like I said, next.
well, that's just one documentary. I mean, it's documentaries of other people who committed crimes.
Yeah, but not on this magnitude, not on this stage. I never seen it. Never seen it.
I'm sure R. Kelly.
I never heard it to say, yo, you need to watch so and so. This, yo, it was crazy.
Well,
I never.
But you gotta realize that he put a lot of time in this. This guy's been involved with so much. It's not like, this didn't come out of thin air. We talking about, like when Quincy Jones received awards. He's been in the game for so long. Some of the awards, go way back. He got stories on stories. Some of the stories may be made up or just distorted. But when you're in the game for something for so long, that stuff accumulates. This dude, his claim, his first move in this game that we know of is marrying a 15-year-old girl, right? And we got a marriage certificate that's exposed now. So, and I guess it has to deal with the state too. It looks here. So J.D. Stokes, if I remember, you're a police officer. Retired police officer. He says in the state of Georgia he would be charged with child molestation or statutory rape. So it seems to me that part of the reason why he may be getting out of certain things could be circumstantial where he is. Like he played his cards right in his scheming with minors and trying to do it in the right way, right? As someone who's a sexual predator. I mean, listen. I guess I want to ask you too, though.
Sure.
Okay. Nah, I'll let you finish.
I mean, like I said, it's complex, and it's not to say
complex.
Yes, it's very complex because it's not to be said that you're right, I'm wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong. We just have two point of views on the situation, and the first thing I saw was a lynching. I can't think of it any kind of way but a lynching.
But the dude is clearly engaged in all this stuff. I mean, his hands are dirty. This dude's hands are dirty, yo. I mean, you even got Beyonce's father like, yo, listen, I don't even want my singles around this dude.
That's what a father should do. If there's any kind of allegations, or any kind of something has been said, anything.
Yo, what a perennial state.
That's what a natural father's supposed to do.
We talking about R. Kelly, bro, and so we looking at this, from our perspectives. Kev is holding the fort that he shouldn't be served up on a platter. I'm saying that this dude has inflicted harm in the black community among our youth. And he's been doing this for over 20 years. And he deserves, at this point, no kind of racial comfort, or I don't know how you're trying to put this. Like,
it's harsh.
I don't think we need to be comparing what he deserves in this case with what Harvey Weinstein and somebody else is getting.
Of course we should.
No. If you're trying to tell me that we should think twice about the punishment or whether somebody should even be punished for statutory rape, for child pornography.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I never say he should not go to jail.
And abusing his wife.
I never said he should not go to jail. I never said that. I said it's the way we're serving him up is what I don't agree upon.
Well, he's going to jail. What do we want to do? Have a parade for him?
I didn't say that. If the law gets him, if it's on the news and they say, yo, R. Kelly's faces charges, so and so and so and so. Live coverage at 7 or whatever, and we hear about it through that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, he's going to jail, or the law's on him. Okay, he got a court date. Just as the way they're going to for Weinstein or anybody else. Let that man do
Yeah,
that.
but it takes what they're doing to make that happen. For some reason, R.
But we
Kelly
don't-
is much
we
more
don't-
protected. So Weinstein, the pressure was on him so much that
Kelly's
they
much more
squeeze.
protective.
No, I'm just saying, I'm speculating because if you're going to compare him to Harvey Weinstein, he's already in the dragnet. All right, this dude,
I'm
this
gonna
dude,
tell you,
this dude,
listen, we're not gonna-
finances, his family life,
We're not-
everything
we're not
has
gonna-
been squeezed. I'm just saying, if we want to bring him
We're
in,
not going. We're not
we
going
wanna
to say
bring-
the differential. We know what the differential is.
right? But Harvey Weinstein, I'm saying, but Harvey is this dude is squeezed by the testicles.
Okay,
The
but
pressure was on him.
Okay, yeah.
So why? So
No,
we
no,
should
no, no.
allow our women to put the pressure on R. Kelly.
Somebody
asked how he's serving him up.
Just be careful. Let's just be careful.
I mean, be careful for what? I mean, this dude.
No.
It's his
Just
word
be
versus
careful.
our girls' word.
No,
our women's
we
word.
just gotta be careful, brother. Like it's a bigger picture. You gotta be.
We're not talking about. We talking about his acts with young women.
Okay, but listen. A lot of this is
We're not talking about
opinionated.
tax evasion.
No. A lot of this is opinionated. Not to say
Opinionated.
Listen, not to say the girls shouldn't have. They just do. They voices shouldn't be heard. I'm not saying that at all. If the crimes fit, he should go to jail.
Right. But
But
now
I'm just saying, I never seen nothing like this ever, where this much energy is put into somebody's, first of all, personal life. That's one. Not to say he's correct. Not to say any of his personal life is correct, but I never saw that. We gotta be. Listen.
Somebody said, "What are you saying?"
We gotta
what
watch
do you mean?
We gotta watch the board. What I mean is the Michael Jackson movie is coming up next, and what's gonna be the common denominator? Is two brothers being executed, being exploited.
But
being
what about
painted.
the facts that this guy? We're talking about real concrete allegations, real
No.
concrete
You can't
indictments.
You can't say
for-
real concrete. You can't say it's concrete.
I can say concrete allegations.
Why?
Because I didn't say that he was proven guilty in the court of law. But I'm saying we have consistent concrete allegations that got him indicted.
Isn't that the way of the land though? You're not
Well,
guilty.
it starts with that. What I'm
You're
saying
innocent
is,
until proven guilty.
right.
Okay,
But we do know that people can evade. People can
No,
evade
you
the matter.
You can evade the matter. But
And
I'm
so
saying,
we should be.
if it's listen, what I'm saying, if it's charges being
They were
brought up,
they're concrete victims. That's what somebody said.
there's allegations being brought up against a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
But from an opinion, people being opinionated, the masses is being opinionated is taken into value now and saying, oh, he did these things. Oh, he's an animal. He's a monster. We can't look at it like that. We have to let that man go face what he's going to face the way he needs to face it.
Yeah, but what about the victims? Can we go with the victims? We're not talking about the masses. The victims are bringing this up, who have largely been unheard, invisible, voiceless.
Okay.
And now, are we going to listen to the victims? It seems like we listen to the victims when they're white women. Now we have black women who are saying that things. And we talking about looking at how things happen. It sounds to me that we feel. I want to say we, but I mean you.
I'm conflicted.
You conflicted. I don't know how you can be
conflicted.
conflicted, man. Because listen, this is
I'm
this
very
is an
much
issue,
conflicted.
man. A transgression. First of all, against any human being, black, white, or whatever, going in any direction is wrong, man. Now, if we want to add that other layer of race and talk about what other white men are doing, and how they're not
Wait.
receiving the
Not
just due.
we're not just saying white men. We're saying this is what I'm saying. Let's not paint this as this only goes on in our community. This is what I'm saying.
We know that.
Okay. This is what I'm saying. This happens across the world
Good.
in all communities.
All right, so what's so strange about it?
No, there's nothing strange about it. My thing is, the only picture that's being painted is a brother that's brown. That's the only picture that's being painted.
What do you mean? Only pictures being painted is only brothers being brown.
But because
you saying he's the only black man that has a documentary around him. He's the only man that has a documentary. There's white people with documentaries around them.
Where?
So we can just Google.
Yeah, you're right. This is what I'm saying. Right. You would have to do research. But we already.
No, I'm gonna get a whole list. There's a whole list.
Right, but just what I'm saying. We would have to do research to gather that evidence.
But that's because we're not following it because we don't care.
Exactly.
So but that doesn't mean it's not there. You're making a claim
But
that
we can't.
I mean, first of all, Kelly wouldn't be the only black
let
person.
that.
He wouldn't be the only man whose life has been exposed.
We're not saying that.
This dude, that's what you're saying. You're saying that he's the only guy that you've known to be
who's being served
whose
up like
personal
this?
life. His personal life is a life of misogyny. That's why his personal life has been exposed. To get the evidence, we have to look at what he's doing.
I know
this
two.
Dude, we talking about a dude.
But listen,
with minors.
All right, but listen, I know two.
Marrying a 15-year-old girl.
I know 2 men off the
having
back.
a sex cult.
I only know 2 men off the back. That has carried this much weight. That has been in the public for this, like humiliated in public.
But 2 dudes. And first of all, the documentary is not even one of the biggest Netflix documentaries out anyway.
It doesn't have to be.
Well, but I mean, you were painting it as if this is some like overly exaggerated, attack on a black man.
As far as this particular type of action, behavior, yes, it is.
Mike Tyson.
No.
OJ.
No.
I mean, the OJ case.
No. But because those had different dynamics in it.
Well, everything will have different dynamics.
Right.
We're talking about a black man who's being charged of committing some issues against a woman.
Sexual issues.
Yeah, sexual issues.
All right.
So, you want to say sexual issues? Or misogyny. I think the category is misogyny.
Misogyny, sexual issues. That's what I'm saying. This is going on across the world. So why?
But we're talking about here,
right? Okay, and in America, it's going across. It's happening.
And we're talking about our communities.
In our communities, it's happening in our communities.
Right. So
why is he getting painted? Why is he the only one getting painted?
Well, right now he's the one that is accessible to bring down. We need look at the amount of attention is needed to get everybody to pay attention to a sexual predator.
That's what I'm saying.
Like R. Kelly is right. It takes a lot, and luckily, some women were brave enough. Some people were brave enough to start talking. Some people were brave enough to. It takes bravery. When you take a high power person to court, your life becomes a liability as well because they have the finances to defame you, to slander, libel, to get you in court well beyond your means. You have court fees well beyond your means. Another example of this is Stormy Daniels, who is now charged to pay Trump's legal fees. I mean, this is the scenario that a lot of women are in. Many women don't even say anything because the system, the first thing a man is going to do is contextualize the violence acted on them and see in what way they were the temptress or a co-conspirator in their own demise.
Don't get me wrong. I dig it. I dig it. Females need a voice, but what I'm saying is we gonna use a dude's transgressions for the platform of sister black girl lives matter. We gonna use that as the
he's on that platform by himself. He's on that platform. You're not putting him on the platform. He's there. Listen. If any one of us sitting here, a bunch of us here, any one of us win $100 million, you on a platform,
right?
Now, what you do on that platform is up to you. It's up to you. What you do on that platform. R. Kelly chose to be in a certain kind of environment that is on that he, by being in that environment, he brought that to his platform. That follows him around. So we got somebody who wants to request to be in the video. Listen, African, the only problem is that the way I have things set up right now, it's going to be difficult to hear because I'm in Starbucks. So I'm not inside. So, you know what? I'm going to have to try to get you another number to call in on. That's what we have to do next.
All I'm saying is let's be careful. He's a brother.
So we got some comments here.
Let's be careful on how we serve our brother up. Let's be careful.
Well, we were very careful.
Let's watch the whole board. Let's watch the board now.
I think black people have been watching this board since the day we've been here.
I don't think so.
So when somebody says, Kasaun, where is this conversation going? This man you're speaking with is unmoved by the reality of R. Kelly's sexual acts of molestation, possibly even rape.
Possibly is a key word.
Yeah, but
Possibly
so
is a
we're,
key word.
right.
This is what I'm saying. We spend
but
a
you're
lot
harping
of
on
time.
rape though. But there's a lot in between that. You're harping on whether or not we prove that he's raped someone.
Whether he's a bad person or he's
No, but
manipulative.
No, it's beyond that. We there's substantial beyond a reasonable beyond doubt that this guy
I'm just saying.
has abused minors.
I'm just saying, let the law get him.
If we let the Lord get him, then that falls back into the comfortable zone that we talked about before, where power usually evades the law. And you're willing to grant that to him because even if he's not accused or convicted, doesn't mean he's innocent. We are listening to the cries of black women who are telling us over and over and over. And even when we talk about the Me Too movement, Me Too was started by black women. But like I say over and over, but we didn't listen to them. But when the Me Too movement was when the Me Too movement became white, we started listening.
I mean, I'm like I said, I'm torn because I have nieces, sisters.
So
you know, I wouldn't want none of that to happen in reality to any of them, even those who allegedly came up and have the allegations. But I just think the platform and the road that they took, it just to me it looked like a lot of hands were greased, a lot of people being paid, it just looked like a setup.
all right, we're gonna take some questions here. All right, we're gonna take some questions. So somebody said, G.D. Stokes said, I don't give 2 cents about him being a black man. He committed these crimes. He needs to be in jail. And also, I think G.D. Stokes also mentioned that he was in a liberal state, so things were a little bit more lenient for him. And the kind of things he did in a different state, let's say Georgia, he would have been arrested. So
exactly that mentality, you wouldn't really hear a white person say, I don't give 2 cents of him being a white man. That's the mentality I'm talking about. That type of lingo, we don't hear a Chinese man saying, I don't give 2 cents to him about being a Chinese man.
You're absolutely wrong on that one. You're absolutely wrong. We don't need to say we don't give 2 cents if he's a white man because the white man is the norm. What we always do is try to establish justice. I don't know if that works because apart from R. Kelly molesting black women, we have problems with a racist society. So that's why we don't say that because right now we're still trying to fight for basic justice. And the last thing we really want to deal with is a black dude preying on black women. So that's why we don't need to say that we don't give 2 cents because
that's the last thing. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a lot of issues out here. We making this like this the end all be all.
What, raping a woman and preying on women? Being a predator?
6 hours. I didn't hear the word rape.
Being a sexual predator? Being a child molester? He's a child molester.
I mean,
he has a sex cult.
Why
he has sex. He has child.
Why
a sex cult.
Wait, hold on. Why is it a sex cult? Why is it a sex cult? What makes it? Let me ask you a question. What makes it a sex cult?
Child pornography.
What makes it a sex cult? Because he has multiple.
He has multiple
women,
minor girls, who have been, I would go as far as to say brainwashed or caught up on his wealth, and he's manipulated that. That's something that's perpetuated.
That's
even
hard to prove.
by rappers. Rappers do that on a norm. But that's start doing it on.
That's hard to prove, man. That's hard to like.
It's not about proving. This is
already
about
out.
Proving. I mean, no. I know. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Don't do that.
When I say it's not about proving,
it is about proving.
We have established accusations from multiple sources. From multiple sources. And you know what's crazy? When we like to talk about what the white men are doing, people love these conspiracies.
It's not a conspiracy, champ.
I'm not saying this is a conspiracy.
My joint is factual.
No. What I'm saying is I think that a lot of us need less to make an accusation on other issues. We have way more. Now, the unit of evidence or or the form of the form of evidence comes in a voice and a person saying, "Listen, this is what happened to me." And if we have multiple people saying, "This happened to me," over 20 years within the black community, just the same way we have to say to white politicians, like, "Yo, listen, this is what's going on in our community. We need to stop this." And when such people are ignored, this is when we have a violation of justice. And for us, black men, to participate in the ignoring and the violation of the justice of even just listening and amplifying the aggrieved voices, we are playing a part of this whole white supremacy structure that we are saying is mistreating us. We're just tagging on just from a patriarchal, misogynist position.
Listen, and this
We got some real comments in here.
And this is what I'm saying. My point of view is overall. Listen, not saying that my brother here is saying anything wrong. Not saying that the brother shouldn't go to jail. I'm just saying, watch the board. Look at the picture that's being painted. We have to be careful on how we serve our brother up. Is all I'm saying.
Well, listen.
Wait, hold on. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of big wigs in the industry, but no one's coming to the forefront saying, "Yo, I reached out to the brother R. Kelly, knowing he needs help, knowing he's sick in the mind." So if we talking about
that
race,
doesn't even matter,
yes, it does, because if we talking about a race because we quick to say he's doing this, but and we talking about community, where's the community help? We have to
excuse for his behavior.
No. I didn't listen. I'm not excusing his behavior. His behavior is vile. It's terrible. We talking about community. We talking about black. We talking about unity. Where's the help?
We'll do that in another conversation. Right now, we need to talk about our black girls. We got to talk about the acts of violence against black girls, and we can talk about that other stuff later. We got people in emotional, physical triage right now, bro.
And this is what I'm saying.
And we need to deal with that. What? I don't understand. How do we even have the pay? I don't know how one can have the I would say insensitivity to the issue around minor young women being abused.
No. Listen. I watched the R. Kelly tape, the pornography tape, whether it was him or whatever the case may be. I said whoever the person is, because he wasn't proven guilty on that. So whoever the person was, not really even the pissing part. The fact that it was a minor, that little girl, her body wasn't developed, the way her body was moving, and you knew she was totally underage. It was totally, the whole act was out of pocket.
We got some questions up here for you too. I don't know if you want to engage, but all right. So I don't know. So let's see. So obviously some people feel that, so we got an issue. Ruler Fitz says he is trying to hold together a structure of patriarchy. Are you talking about R. Kelly or the person I'm talking to? You're in a real seat, bro.
Yeah.
I applaud you for stepping up here.
I said, let's get it.
So what your guest is insinuating is wrong. If his sister, or mother, or a close family member was involved, how would he react? I asked that question. I don't know if you really answered. I mean, what do you think? How would you be? How would you approach this if it was like close to home? And then it's hard to imagine, but I would throw it out there.
It's not even hard to imagine because I that's what I said. Like I am an uncle. You know what I'm saying? I am a brother to sisters. So I'm a dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't even.
If your niece made an allegation, what would you do? Like, yo, R. Kelly pissed on me.
I don't know, because that's a stretch of the imagination. Like
stretch.
I can't really.
We know that's part of his toolkit. That's part of his. That's how he gets down, bro.
Yeah, but it gets down. But this is what I'm saying. A lot of his actions are enabled. It's a lot of people involved in his actions.
Granted, but we're talking about him. He's the kingpin. He's the top dollar man.
Okay, but you can't separate it. You can't separate that.
But I'm talking about the allegation. If somebody, so you saying you would tell your niece, well, I need to know everybody else who's involved first. All right, I know R. Kelly urinated on you, but who led you to him? Like, you gonna take that route?
I'm just.
I don't know. Maybe you would. Some people are like that. But I'm curious.
I'm just saying it's a lot attached to how that little girl even got into the video. It's a lot attached to that. It's a lot attached to who brought that minor to this savage or this predator as y'all call him. It's a lot to it.
Yeah, we know that.
Right. So it's just not. It's not like he's saying, "Yo, I'm R. Kelly. I'm gonna go pick this one up on my own. I'm picking up girls on my own."
No, he has a network. He says,
Okay,
I want to do this, and I'm
okay,
gonna make.
but
I'm
then-
gonna
but
hire people to do this
what
for
I'm
him.
saying. And
His
listen,
manager's a part of it too.
Okay. But listen, he's sick, and the society that we live in is sick because we got people who's willing to sell their daughters and put them in these positions.
We have that too.
Okay, then.
So
So
he
that's what I'm
has some-
saying.
but he's-
It's a layered situation,
Yeah,
man.
but he's still guilty for what he's doing. So to say that
Chan,
the,
but you enabling.
the fact that somebody may have enabled some of his victims
You
is
get
one
your-
thing, but that's no excuse for
but
him.
we can't. Okay,
that's
but
no
now,
excuse
now
for
when
him.
we say some of his victims, let's say it's 20 victims. How many were enabled out the 20?
If they're
we
minors,
don't know.
If they're minors,
We
they're
don't know.
all victims. It doesn't even matter if
Okay,
they're
this
minors.
what I'm saying. We don't even know
As an
who,
adult,
we don't
we
know
are
how many are
responsible
minors. We
for
don't know
our
who was adults. We don't know.
Oh no, we know that information is here. That information is here.
We got exact numbers on how many was.
Well, we have,
don't.
We can get numbers. It may not be. There's so many. It's hard to have an exact number. Listen, this dude has a legacy.
And then why-
of sex? He's a sexual predator. That means you don't know how many bodies he got, bro.
Okay, so why is it so important to find out how many he has?
Because he's the one in the hot seat right now. They're doing the same.
I
They're
don't
doing
know,
the same
man.
thing with Harvey Weinstein. They're doing the same thing with others. Kevin Spacey. What's up, bro? All right, peace, man. They're trying to find out. So let's see what's good here. Let's see what's good here. I mean, so we're gonna have to pack up. I guess we'll do closing remarks. I'll let you do the closing remark, bro.
What we got going there?
I mean, your closing remark. I mean, you can read some of the comments they got here, but. You know, I mean, basically, you can state your final position, and then I'll state my final position.
My position is how I started off. I said, now, if the law come gets him for his vile acts and criminal acts for being a pedophile, the law come gets him. I'm just not comfortable with the public lynching. That's what I'm not comfortable with. I just never saw nothing like that and I continue to say that because I've been here for a little bit. You know what I mean? And I never seen nobody been put on blast like that ever. And I'm saying ever. And like I said, after R. Kelly, the Michael Jackson movie is coming up next, man. And it's what we had to watch the picture. It's gonna be two brothers being depicted in a certain kind of way. We gotta watch the scoreboard and wonder why these things are coming up now when there's a lot of other issues in the world that we need to be paying attention. You know, 2020 is coming up too. We have to be, mindful of that. You know what I mean? Other situations, political issues coming up. You know what I'm saying? So this is just not me being stuck on R. Kelly or being insensitive. It's just the whole demographic of how it's being done. Why now? You know what I'm saying? And not to be insensitive to the sisters. I was hurt seeing these girls crying up there, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't know what was the angle for them to do it now. I just don't know. I just don't know. Not to say that it was all of it is true, all of it is fictitious. I just don't know. I'm just saying the overall picture that's being painted, I just don't agree with it.
Well, as far as my final remarks, I feel that R. Kelly painted this picture himself. He may have had some help getting the paint, but he's the artist of this picture that we are seeing. The things that we're seeing is accumulation of over 20 years. Okay, and while I'll grant that we cannot pinpoint or show, let's say, a videotape of every particular instance, we have enough clues to know that this is R. Kelly's culture. He has a knack for hanging out with young women, marrying them. He has an interest in sex and child pornography. Okay, he has sexual tendencies, or a high sexual appetite, which are directed towards women and young women via his songs. Maybe we can think of his songs as Freudian slips. When we talk about age ain't nothing but a number. Okay, when he's talking about I admit. Okay, so we know the dude likes to bump and grind. We know he says he likes to step in the name of love, but we also know that he doesn't have any boundaries because he already told us what he thinks about numbers and age. So a lot of this is brought about by himself. And in terms of watching out for the black community, looking out for us and looking at how, white America could be framing our black men, yes, I think that we need to be looking at those things. But I think that concern is not at play when we are dealing with, if you want to call it an in-house situation, when we got a family issue, which is very common in many black families, where uncles and cousins are molesting our young kids.
It's terrible.
Okay, so not everybody gets caught. Many women are ashamed to say things. The victim, in many cases, are ashamed. I'm not talking about scared, are ashamed. And you have others who are afraid. And you have many who feel that, well, they did something wrong. Because the backlash to them speaking up is usually doubting them, their credibility, and nothing is gained for them. And that sets the tenor or the attitude. It sets how we look at women when they try to tell us what's going on to them. And so the other women who might be going through things tend not to say anything. So that's my final argument. I feel that trying to contextualize R. Kelly's transgressions in a larger context of racial issues does us a disservice. We need to listen to our black women. We need to be behind our black woman. And if he's served up on a platter, make sure that platter is looking dope. If you want to put on some extra people on that platter, some side orders, fine. But he's the main course right now. That's where he is. He knows the game. Entertainers manipulate the game for their wealth, and they know that there are people who are looking to take advantage of them.
Yeah. Entertainers are also targeted also.
Yeah, everybody's. If you make any kind of money, you could be a politician, you could be an entertainer, you whoever you are. If you reach a certain height and status, you're going to be a target.
Can we get to some of these joints?
No, we got to pack up now. We looked at some of them. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Listen, as you can see, there are different perspectives on this position. I'm with the serving them up. And my boy Kev,
I'm not.
He's not. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great night. You know what? Before I leave, let's read out some of these comments. R. Kelly is sexual deviant. He is a manipulator and deserves to be in jail. And intent matters. Serve him up. Sizzling platter. Your guest opinion was noted. He did a great job. So did you. Thanks a lot. That was fair. All right, y'all. Peace and love. Good night. I'll be back with some more political soul food tomorrow.
Yeah.
Peace.